Today is the 2024 Drysdale RSL Anzac Day March and procession held here at the Cenotaph here in the middle of Drysdale.
On the right, clear, march!
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, Drysdale community. I would like to acknowledge the Wadawurrung people, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I pay my respects to their elders past, present and emerging. My name is Derek Hayema, a retired able seaman of the Royal Australian Navy and new current Vice President of the Drysdale Returned Services League. I want to thank you all for gathering here to honour the spirit of the Anzac. Seeing so many community members here today reinforces the enduring legacy and respect we share for those who have served, are currently serving, and may even wish to serve. As we prepare to remember, I ask you, please silence your phones to respect the stateliness of our proceedings. This year, our march was dedicated to the peacekeepers and emergency services, underscoring the broad spectrum and current and former military personnel alongside their family and friends. This group includes those who cannot be here today, such as my own wife who served in the Solomon Islands under the United Nations Ramsey mission. We reflect on the sacrifices made in such missions, including the tragic loss of PSO Matthew Dunning, a stark reminder of the dangers faced in the quest for peace. Peacekeeping extends beyond international operations. It also encompasses our emergency services, responses to domestic crises such as recent fires in Batemans Bay, the floods in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria, and fires in South Australia and WA. These events have showcased the spirit and cooperation that defines our service ethos. Our commitment extends globally with training exercises alongside allies like New Zealand, reinforcing our shared values and the commitment to the spirit of the Anzac. To our Maori family, Wano Matia Oranga, meaning family for life. However, the toll on our service members can be profound. The ongoing Royal Commission into Veteran Services has been brought into the spotlight by advocates like Julianne Finney following the heartbreaking suicide of her son, Petty Officer David Finney, whom I served with. It underscores the importance of supporting our service members with mental health challenges and highlighting that it's okay to seek help and that our services need it readily available. Today, we also honour Frances Crowe, who, though through a recent member of our community left a profound impact with the leaving of a wreath at the cenotaph. Francis Crowe served in the Korean War aboard HMAS Sydney. Francis faced harsh conditions that shaped his lifelong service ethos. He was a testament to the spirit of the Anzac, reflecting camaraderie, courage, and dedication, values that clearly define our community. Francis passed away in Wellington, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire us all. As we lay wreaths today, let us remember the sacrifices of the individuals like Francis and David, and let us to continue to support our veterans and service members with the respect and dignity they deserve. Thank you for your presence today, which vividly illustrates our collective commitment to remembering our past and striving for a better future. Lest we forget. I would now like to welcome to the lectern Captain Diane Hobbs from the Salvation Army to recite the Lord's Prayer. Thank you, Diane.
Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. Almighty and eternal God, we gather together today to remember and honour the brave men and women who served their countries with courage and sacrifice, especially those who gave their lives in the defence of freedom. In particular, we remember the Anzacs, whose bravery and resilience define the spirit of our nations. May their courage inspire us to strive for peace and justice in our world. Grant comfort to those who mourn the loss of loved ones, and strength to those who still bear the scars of war. May we never forget the sacrifices made on our behalf, and may we always cherish the freedoms they secured for us. We look to the future and live in the anticipation and promise that one day every tear will be wiped away. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things will have passed away. Grant us, O Lord, the wisdom to learn from the past, the strength to build a future of peace and justice, and the compassion to care for all who suffer as a result of war. Bless those who serve in our armed forces today. Protect them from harm and guide them in the pursuit of peace. Globally, guide us in the ways of peace, that we may build a world where conflict is replaced with understanding and where the sacrifices of the past pave the way for a better future. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Captain Diane Hobbs, for that awesome prayer. I would now like to introduce the new Drysdale RSL President, Dennis Highland, a Vietnam veteran, who is our guest speaker today, and then we'll recite the ode. Please welcome Dennis Highland.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming here today. It's wonderful to see so many. I believe we have a record crowd again today. We keep breaking records every year, and I thank you all for your support. In today's world, we have the opportunity to travel overseas, visit family and friends, and see new sights and places. And every time we return from our travels back to our remote island continent, we realise how beautiful it is and how exceptionally fortunate we are. The natural beauty of our 34,000 kilometre coastline, unspoilt national parks and wide open skies, the beauty and strength of our diverse multicultural people, from our Indigenous peoples here for over 60,000 years to our newest residents, so many of them continuing to escape here from the horrors of their native countries and coming to our glorious land. All those who have gone before us have contributed to today's Australia. It isn't perfect, but we have much to be grateful for. Our no worries attitude, mateship, support, our sense of humour, and making the best of things. No matter what is thrown at us, we don't let it keep us down. Floods, viruses, the Aussie spirit shines through. And I believe that the Australian people have demonstrated more than any other nation the value we put on human life. During the pandemic, and whether we agree with all the COVID measures or not, one thing is certain: we saved lives. The vast majority of Australians, no matter their age, gender, cultural background or social position, did what they had to do, and tens of thousands of lives were saved. To me, one of the most important features of our nation is individual freedom. Our democracy ensures we have the right to stand up for what we believe in and talk openly, without fear of reprisal. An amazing feeling to have for those like me who have experienced a very different way of life. At Drysdale RSL, we are proud to serve those who serve, to care for and assist those men and women who have put their country first and stood up to protect our nation, our way of life, and our precious freedom. Their service and sacrifice are immeasurable. In return, all we can offer is our gratitude. We can demonstrate our gratitude through respect, support for our Defence Forces and veterans, through upholding the values that make us who we are as a nation, and looking through after this beautiful land. We can each do our bit to maintain this valuable legacy for the generations that follow. I owe those words to Jana Bolshelin from Basie RSL Care. Robert Lawrence Binion, born August 10, 1869, and died on March 10, 1943. Moved by the opening of what was then called the Great War and the already high number of casualties of the British Expeditionary Force, Binion wrote this poem, For the Fallen, in 1914, with its ode of remembrance. At the time of writing, he was visiting the cliffs on the North Cornwall coast. The piece was published in the Times in that September, when public feeling was affected by the recent Battle of the Marne. Today, Binion's most famous poem, For the Fallen, is often recited at British Remembrance Sunday services and is an integral part of Anzac Day services in Australia and New Zealand, as well as on November 11, Remembrance Day. The Ode of Remembrance has thus been claimed as a tribute to all casualties of war, regardless of nation. In 1915, despite being too old to enlist in the armed forces, Binion volunteered at a British hospital for French soldiers in Haute-Marne, France, working briefly as a hospital orderly. He returned in the summer of 1916 and took care of soldiers taken in from the Verdun battlefield. He then wrote about his experiences for Dauntless France in 1918, and his poems, Fetching the Wounded and The Distant Guns, were inspired by his hospital service in France. For the Fallen, by Lawrence Binion, 1914. With proud thanksgiving, a mother for her children, England mourns for her dead across the sea. Flesh of her flesh they were, spirit of her spirit, fallen in the cause of the free. Solemn the drums thrill, death august and royal, sing sorrow up into immortal spheres. There is music in the midst of desolation, and a glory that shines upon our tears. They went with songs to battle, they were young, straight of limb, true of eye, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end against odds uncounted. They fell with their faces to the foe. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. They mingle not with their laughing comrades again. They sit no more at familiar tables of home. They have no lot in our labour of the daytime. They sleep beyond England's foam. But where our desires are and our hopes profound, felt as a wellspring that is hidden from sight, to the innermost part of their own land, they are known as the stars are known to the night. As the stars that shall be bright when we are dust, moving in marches upon the heavenly plain, as the stars that are starry in the time of our darkness, to the end, they remain. If you would like to join with me as I say the ode, that would be wonderful. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Lest we forget. Thank you, everybody. Just to let you know that after our service today, we have a morning tea, cups of tea and coffee, and we also have the Rotary Club of Ballarat North. They're providing sausages for us, and they are just for a donation. That's all we ask on that one, to help them along their way. So thank you, everybody. I'll now hand you back to our MC, Derek.
Thank you, Dennis. Wise words. And now we will hear from our local students at the Drysdale Primary School with a poem, I Am Australian.
I hear the trumpet calling as clear as a bell, sounding over bloody fields so many young men fell. At the dawn we honour them, each and every one, lest you be forgotten, our brave Australians.
I am every Australian who answered freedom's call to leave their home and loved ones and fight on foreign shores. At Gallipoli and Lone Pine, their legend was begun. I am the unknown soldier, I am Australian.
We are one, but we are many, and from all lands on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice, I am, you are, we are Australian.
Your sons and your daughters are now marching by your side. They carry your battle flags and say your name with pride. Your courage and your mateship in all of us lives on. I am the Anzac spirit. I am Australian.
Awesome to see so many children out here today, school kids, secondary children, primary. It's fantastic to see that our youth continues with our Anzac spirit and continues to support our communities. I would now like to welcome school captains of the Clifton Springs Primary School with another poem, Those Who Came Home.
Those who came home. In the still of the morning, the flag flies at half-mast, and the little girl looks up, wonders, and asks. Glad that explains to her. It's a symbol of pride to remember those who served and sometimes died.
She sees the old men marching in the parade. The crowds have gathered on Anzac Day to remember and reflect on legends of past, of courage and bravery, and standing steadfast.
Those who debate what we fight for enjoy the freedom that comes from war. Brave men and women who answer the call, the future cut short, now named on the wall. The Anzac spirit will live on in the hearts of the young. Honour, pride and passion of a job well done. To the airmen, soldiers, sailors and cadets, we give thanks to you, lest we forget.
I now ask that you stand, if you can, for the Australian and New Zealand national anthems, sung by the band.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant southern cross, we'll toil with heart
I now hand you over to Drysdale RSL Secretary Harry Patterson, who will read out the wreath layers. Please welcome Secretary Harry Patterson.
Thanks, Derek. And it really is fantastic to see so many people here today. I was told the other day that there are 6,000 veterans of the Defence Forces living on the Doreen Peninsula today, and they're part of 600,000 former Defence Force members living in Australia. Of course, not all of those were in World War I and World War II, but much more recent activity. For myself, I've got my grandfather's World War I medals on today. He was only a private in World War I, but I can tell you that he stole a German tank, which is now in the Brisbane Museum. That's another story. He was also in the same outfit, same infantry battalion as Percy Cherry, who was born in Drysdale and got himself a VC before he was killed in World War I. I've got my son here today, who's wearing my father's medals, his grandfather's medals. He joined up late in World War II, just after he turned 18, and was going to go to Bomber Command, but they cancelled the war before he got there, so I'm very pleased about that. I've got two granddaughters here as well, and they're wearing a few medals that I have from my 27 years service in the Royal Australian Air Force. I am going to get through 40 wreaths to be laid here today, but before we do that, I've got a special surprise. There is a lady here whose name is Lisa Marie Enright, who spent 13 years doing Army records and Air Force and Navy records down at the fort at Queenscliff. When her stepfather, Ken Wood, passed away a couple of years ago, she wrote herself a little poem, and she would like to share that with you this morning. So if you would indulge Lisa Marie? Lisa Ann, pardon that. So we'll just do that for a moment, thanks.
Promise of Parliament Road is called Remember Me by Lisa Ann Enright. I promised I would come to you to ease your aching heart. On Anzac Day, you lay somewhere. Okay. I promised I would come to you to ease your aching heart. On Anzac Day, you lay somewhere where others played their part. You gave your life so selflessly to support the cause, not knowing what would become of it. Go forward, do not pause. In the dark you landed into a bleak, uninviting place. With all the training you had, no idea what you would face. With makeshift lifetime bonds you made, you're all being left behind into gunfire, chaos, an environment not so kind. You scaled those cliffs, your Australian spirit kept you strong. And all around you, bodies laid, which just seemed also wrong. Who will be there to comfort them at their last resting place, to honour them for the sacrifice of whole reality to face? Remember me, I gave my life, so you now can be free. So shed a tear and never forget what your life would mean to me. The National Archives are a photo of our men in the trenches, literally. Thank you.
This is my granddaughter Ava coming up now. She's going to help you with the wreath. Okay, do the wreath laying. We do have a few. I'll call up two groups at a time. Just get the wreaths over there and lay them up here with the appropriate. Anyway, Drysdale RSL will come up first, and the Drysdale Women's Auxiliary. The Vietnam veterans, Kevin Davis, man who put the flag up and down for us, and the National Servicemen's Association, Tony Toll. another excellent service organisation for retired folk and people whose families of those people who didn't come home. Geelong Legacy, Brian McKenzie, and representing the federal member for Corangamite, who's in Coca, Sean Reardon. Representing Senator Sarah Henderson, Terry Ridgway, and the state member for Bellarine, Alison Marshall, is actually here in person today, so thanks, Alison. I'm sure a lot of people here are ratepayers for the City of Greater Geelong, and here's our man, Jim Mason, and I have Brendan McDonald from the Drysdale CFA as well, please. The Victorian SES, Rachel and her mum, Nola Bella, do a great job. And the Drysdale CWA, that'll be Margaret Mason. Di Hobbs, who did the prayer for us today, representing the Salvation Army, and David Wilshire from the Anglican parish of Bellarine. Drysdale Community Church, Jake Hugendorm, and Drysdale Provost, Ross Brown. A couple of the service clubs, Port Arlington Drysdale Lions Club, Jeff Webster, and Bellarine North Rotary Club, Graham Wise. Over the back of number 13 Princess Street today, you'll find hamburgers and hot dogs and things like that, courtesy of the Bellarine North Rotary Club, so thanks for that. The Springdale Neighbourhood Centre, based down here, Diane Bennett. And we've got the Girl Guides and the Boy Scouts, Lucy Calafukas. Thanks everybody. We've got the Clifton Springs Men's Shed, good job for men who want to get together and have a bit of a chat. And the Clifton Springs Golf Club, who are very good supporters of ours, that'd be Jeff Piper. Other sporting clubs around, Drysdale Bowls and Croquet Club, is John Milton here. And the Drysdale Cricket Club, David and Jessie Stokes. Thanks to the cricketers. Also got the Drysdale Football and Netball Club. Sarah Martin and Jess Case are going to do that. The new one this year is Bellarine Blitz Basketball Club, Aidan Hunter. Drysdale, the schools now, Drysdale Primary School, Clifton Springs Primary School, Michaela, Tobias, Miranda and Tess. Did a good job of the pastor before. Christian College Geelong, Gus Daly, Annika Sharma, and St Ignatius College, Owen Curtis. Thanks guys. St Thomas's Primary School, Bridget Hart and Joanne Peen. And I had the pleasure of attending an activity at Bellarine Secondary College a couple of days ago. And they're laying a wreath today, Paige and Isabella. For the first time this year, we have the Good Start Early Learning guys, Jack and Raylene McGowan will do that for us. Concludes the formal part of today's activity. Maybe you can go over there and have something to eat and drink, or you can wait around for an aeroplane in 20 minutes' time. He doesn't have a navigator on board, so he's going to have a problem, for sure. So thank you all very much for coming. Wonderful to see so many people here.
So long ago, that at times we lose sight of the ones that gave their life for us. It seems so simple then, fighting for the home we love, not knowing that your life could be condemned. Young men went on their way, not knowing what's at stake, setting all their fears aside with hope that they will come back home. We will remember all those years ago, their sacrifice, their hopes and fears, their bravery and tears. We will remember. Oh, so long ago, they left their wives and mothers to stand strong with their brothers, 'cause that's who they were fighting for. I was a little child when Mama said so proudly that my grandpa went to war. I was too young to know, to understand his reasons to stand strong for country and his fellow man. He fought with honor then, did everything he can, setting all his fears aside with hope that he would come back home. We will remember all those years ago, their sacrifice, their hopes and fears, their bravery and tears. We will remember. Oh, so long ago, they left their wives and mothers to stand strong with their brothers, 'cause that's who they were fighting for. See them all marching strong, side by side as one. Their name I'll carry proudly with a flame. Remember freedom's cost, for the lives we lost. Please remember, we must remember. We will remember all those years ago, their sacrifice, their hopes and fears, their bravery and tears. We will remember. Oh, so long ago, they left their wives and mothers to stay strong with their brothers, 'cause that's who they were fighting for.